Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Friday. You've made it to the end of the week. Some of you have a 3-day weekend to look forward to. We have a 3-day weekend to look forward to. And your reward on this Friday afternoon is 3 hours of sports talk. Well, 3-ish here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and in living color on our streaming video channels, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube, WIBW News on Facebook. However, wherever, whenever you're joining the program today, thanks so much for being a part of the audience on 580 Sports Talk. My name is Dan Lucero. Brendan Dworzinski and Spencer Dupuis will be along in the 4 o'clock hour. We have got a jam-packed show for you today, looking ahead to the sports weekend, including a look at the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Monday night's national championship college football game between Miami and Indiana. College hoops this weekend. KU in action tonight. No Saturday hoops at Allen Fieldhouse. Friday night basketball in Lawrence tonight as KU hosts Baylor. And then a late Saturday night game, Big 12 after dark from Stillwater for some reason, as Kansas State tries to once again earn their first Big 12 win of the season against Oklahoma State. Lots to look forward to on the weekend. We're going to get to it all here on 580 Sports Talk today. We're with you until about 5:45, at which point we'll break away for high school basketball. It's the 580 Preps game of the week. We've got action from the Big East tonight. I'm headed out to Rossville to see the Bulldogs take on the Cause of Perry Lecompton. I had a moment there where you guys know the REM song, Don't Go Back to Rockville. Don't go back to Rossville. Now, I am going back to Rossville. I like it there. They like having us. They're good hosts, and I am an excited visitor tonight for Big East League basketball. Rossville and Perry Lecompton, we're anticipating a pregame start of roughly 5:45 ahead of the girls' game, which is scheduled for a 6 o'clock start. The boys' game will follow, and I'll have the action for you tonight here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. And yeah, we have a lot of sports to talk about on the show, and I know that's all well and good, but I know many of you are excited about what we will do in the 4 o'clock hour today. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, you can see I'm holding a bucket. It's got the old Country Legends 1069 logo, so you can tell this bucket's been around a while. It's seen some things in my office. And in the bucket are some slips of paper, and on those slips of paper, there are the names of songs. And myself and Brendan and Spencer are each going to draw a song to sing for 580 Sports Talk Idol. It's coming your way Tuesday in the 4 o'clock hour, our promised karaoke day on the show. You got to 900 subscribers. You got us to that number on YouTube. We're at 910 now. Thank you so much for subscribing. And so your reward is us singing for you. You listeners have submitted songs throughout the last week. We had to pare the list down a little bit. We couldn't put every suggested song. Some because of the content, some because simply there were not karaoke versions that we could access on YouTube to play and to sing along with, and to try not to get copyright stricken on our YouTube page. But we have, I think, a good selection, a good variety of songs that are available for us to draw. And in the 4 o'clock hour, we're all going to pick a song to sing on Tuesday for 580 Sports Talk Idol. So that is coming up. I know many of you are excited about that, and we got the bucket. So we are ready to go for that. As I promised, we're going to talk some NFL football today. We'll look ahead to the divisional round playoff games this weekend with one big question for each divisional round game. We'll also make some picks as a staff in the 4 o'clock hour. And even though they're not playing this week, we have been so accustomed to the first time in 8 years that they haven't played in this week. At least 8 years. I'm trying to think. Yeah, 8 years. First time in 8 years that they have not played in this round. But we will talk some Chiefs on the show today because Matt Derrick, our Chiefs insider, will join us, as he always does, on Fridays on the program. He is our Chiefs insider from ChiefsDigest.com. We'll get Matt's thoughts on the coaching staff changes for the Chiefs, kick around some offensive coordinator ideas. Hollywood Brown got the social media world talking a little bit. He got a little reckless with the X. We used to call them Twitter fingers. X fingers doesn't sound nearly as good because most people are just using X fingers to create child sexual abuse material with Grok, and that's not good. And that's why I don't post there anymore. But one of the reasons. But Twitter fingers used to sound a lot better. And he got people going with the Twitter fingers, maybe trying to get people excited about Cliff Kingsbury as a possibility to come to Kansas City. But we'll get some thoughts from Matt Derrick on our Chiefs Insider segment. Matt Derrick from ChiefsDigest.com joining us at the bottom of this hour. Again, we've got a 3-day weekend, so we'll look ahead to the rest of the sports weekend, including the College Football Playoff Championship game. That's coming Monday night, but we'll give our thoughts since we won't have a Monday show. Who you got? Miami or Indiana? We'll talk our way through that. Also looking ahead to the Big 12 College Hoops weekend as well. And we've got our typical Friday shenanigans on the program. We got Change My Mind. We got On Second Thought. We got weekly champion to crown on What Is Wrong With You. And we'll do our 580 Sports Talk headlines as well. You are, as always, invited and encouraged to be a part of the conversation on 580 Sports Talk today. The text line is open. 785-272-9429 is the number. Again, that is 785-272-9429 to weigh in via the text line. Don't text and drive, but if you aren't driving, you can text the program. And if you are watching us live on YouTube today, we stream the program live on our YouTube channel every day, 3 to whenever we're done, on 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. That is the name of our channel. Go subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you're checking out the show on YouTube today or any day, hop in the live chat. There's a live chat window right next to the live broadcast. You can interact with your fellow listeners and interact with your hosts as we go along through a show. So look forward to hearing from you today. See Andrew and Paul and Mark H. and Vance, part of the usual crew that hangs out in the live chat. Good to see you, gentlemen, and look forward to hearing from more of you in that live chat today. Again, over at our YouTube live chat on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. And if, in case you missed it, again, at the very top, we will be off at 5:45 today, roughly, for our 580 Preps Game of the Week. We have got Rossville and Perry-LeCompton tonight. By we, I mean me. I will be there tonight in Rossville for some Big East basketball action. All right, let's get to some football, shall we? We got 4 divisional round games this weekend. I think this is the weekend. I suspected this would be the case. And now leading up to it really is I really am feeling the absence of the Chiefs. That is how I mean to say what I meant to say. I am feeling the absence of the Chiefs in these playoffs, just from the standpoint of, man, I'm usually more excited for this weekend. And it's not that I'm not excited. It's a good, you can argue this is the best football weekend of the year because it's 4 games. They all end up generally being pretty good. My favorite team is playing. That's fun for me. It's been a while since that has been the case. But I miss the Chiefs being in this weekend of games. From the standpoint of show content, yeah, absolutely, not going to lie to you. But also from the standpoint of just the buzz, the excitement of the Chiefs still being alive. And you feel that. You feel that even in a community like ours that is, well, further away from the Chiefs than we will be in 2031. But yeah, we're, an hour, 15-minute drive, maybe an hour if you really step on it, from Arrowhead Stadium. We're outside of Kansas City. We are not suburban Kansas City. We are not the Kansas City metro area, but we are firmly in the Chiefs kingdom. And people get excited. It's weird going around a day and not seeing everybody in Chiefs stuff. I think that's the biggest adjustment. Because this is Red Friday, right? Red Friday, divisional round. Everybody's got their Chiefs stuff on. It is strange to have been around. Like, my wife went to school today, wasn't wearing Chiefs stuff. She's a teacher, and usually the teachers get to wear their red on Red Fridays or their Chiefs gear. Didn't dress Asher up in his Patrick Mahomes jersey this morning. No rule says we couldn't have. Just didn't, because they're not playing. So that's where I really noticed it. The absence of the Chiefs is the absence of the red on what is been a pretty familiar Red Friday here the last handful of years, and it makes you grateful for having had that opportunity and makes you eager to get back to that as soon as next season. But what we have instead are the Bills and the Broncos as the early game tomorrow, the 49ers and the Seahawks in primetime, the early game Sunday, the Texans and the Patriots, and the final game of the weekend, the Rams and the Bears. We'll go game by game. I've got one big question for each of the games. And the question I have for the Bills and the Broncos actually changed within the last 15 minutes. It changed right before I went on the air. I was going to talk about Josh Allen because this game is about Josh Allen. This playoff run for the Bills is about Josh Allen. He has never had a better look at a Lombardi trophy. And if he does not get it done this year, you start to question if he ever will. And fairly or unfairly, and I think fairly, when you're talking about quarterbacks in the National Football League, rings determine legacy. And Josh Allen is pretty clearly the second best quarterback of this era behind Patrick Mahomes, who's got a fistful of rings. This is Josh Allen's time to go get one. And that means he has to overcome some obstacles. Because after all, didn't Patrick Mahomes go on the road in the divisional round and beat Buffalo 2 seasons ago on his way to a ring with a team that might have been inferior to Buffalo? Yeah, he did that. So now Josh Allen's got to do it. There are no excuses. The greats get it done no matter what. The greats find a way. And if Josh Allen wants to be an all-timer, a pantheon guy, like I sound like Bill Simmons, if he wants to be an inner circle guy, he got to go get his ring. And this is his best chance. But now my question is not about Josh Allen. My question is about a different Buffalo Bill. Because after missing a good chunk of the Bills' season due to injury, Ed Oliver will be activated off of injured reserve. And the star defensive tackle will play on Saturday in Denver against the Broncos. So the big question I have is, how much of a difference does Ed Oliver make? The Bills' defense has not been good. Specifically, it has not been good against the run. In theory, Ed Oliver helps that a great deal because he's a guy that can impact plays from his defensive tackle position. Can also impact the pass rush. He's a big deal. He's a stud. On a defense that doesn't have a lot of bona fide studs, he's a stud. And the Broncos offense is already, as playoff offenses go, fairly impotent. They're not a big play offense. They don't have a big play quarterback. They don't have a big play running game. They don't have big play wide receivers. They are not a quick strike kind of football team. They need to drive the ball methodically, which means it's really important for them to win first down and get into manageable third downs and dictate the terms of each drive that way. Ed Oliver could blow that up. If he is at ramming speed, if he is at his best and fully available and not just a change of pace, yeah, he's healthy, but he's healthy enough to get on the field, put the uniform on, but he's really only going to get about 15, 20 snaps. If he's out there on a regular rotation, I think that bolsters Buffalo's defense to a point where they're going to be able to get the stops they need. Because I think the Bills can score on the Broncos. Why has this been kept? Bronco defense since their bye week, and they had their bye right after they beat the Chiefs at home in, I guess that would have been week 10. They beat the Chiefs, and they had their bye. The week after that, they should have lost to Marcus Mariota and the Commanders. And they've also had some clunkers as a defense against the Packers and against the Jaguars. Those are good teams, playoff teams, good quarterbacks, good, well-rounded offenses. But we talk about the Broncos defense like the kind of unit that can carry a limited offense to a championship. And they have not played to that standard since their bye. Now they are coming off of the playoff bye. They'll be rested. They'll be at home. That's a big deal. That'll be a rowdy crowd in Denver. Altitude always plays a little bit of a role too. But I think the Bills have a better offense. And unless they turn it over a bunch, which they typically don't. Josh Allen typically doesn't. I think they're going to score. I don't know if they're going to get to the 30s, but they should get into the 20s without sweating too much. Can the Broncos do that? Can they do it against a defense that reintegrates Ed Oliver? I have my doubts. 49ers Seahawks is the late game on Saturday. It's the first NFC game. And this is a question that has to do with the quarterback. And the question became more urgent yesterday when he, out of nowhere, showed up on the injury report. What are the Seahawks going to ask of Sam Darnold? Because in the regular season finale in Santa Clara, in a must-win from the perspective of winner gets the division, winner gets the bye in the 1 seed. That was a must-win game. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, well, the loser still got in the playoffs. No, that game meant a hell of a lot to both teams. And the Seahawks grinded the 49ers' bones to make their bread in that game. And they did so with Sam Darnold throwing for 188 yards. Made a couple of nice plays on third down, had one late to Cooper Kupp that was a big deal. Didn't turn the ball over. Didn't ask a lot of Sam Darnold in that game because they ran the ball exceptionally well. They should be able to do that again against a 49er defense that is ravaged by injury, won't have D. Winters, and won't have Fred Warner at linebacker. Seattle should be able to control the game on the ground. That would be nice, considering two things. Number one, Sam Darnold's big game track record, still kind of shaky. And number two, Sam Darnold's oblique started barking at him at yesterday's practice. So if he's less than 100%, it would be fabulous from the Seahawks' perspective, which is also my perspective, if Sam Darnold didn't have to throw the ball 30 times for the Seahawks to win this game. If he only has to throw it between 20 and 25 times, that's probably really good. That probably means the Seahawks win, because I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to move the ball. I don't think they're going to get to the 20s. I think they'll struggle to get past the mid-teens. They were thoroughly dominated by Seattle 2 weeks ago at home. And I know they didn't have Trent Williams for that game, but they did have George Kittle. And they won't on Saturday. I just don't see it for the 49ers, their ability to move the ball. So their best bet is going to be Seattle mistakes. And Sam Darnold has been a fountain of those many, many times in his career when it has been time to stand up and be counted. But if he doesn't have to be that guy who makes the plays to win games, then he ends up not being the guy who makes the play to lose it. And that's the formula for Seattle on Saturday. And that would be the formula if his oblique were 100% too. The Texans and the Patriots, the early game on Sunday. Neither quarterback played great in their playoff openers. C.J. Stroud was downright bad, and his team still won by 24 points because the Steelers were worse. Drake May had a bad first half, made some plays in the second half, and helped the Patriots beat the Chargers. So the question for me surrounds both quarterbacks. Were their duds last week a sign of things to come? I think that's a more urgent question for C.J. Stroud, because he was bad for 4 quarters. And he won't have his number one wide receiver. Nico Collins has been ruled out with a concussion. I don't think Stroud needs to throw for 404 touchdowns to win this game, because I don't think the Patriots offense is going to do a ton against the Texans defense, which the Texans defense is what everybody thinks the Broncos defense is. If you've heard everybody talk about the Bronco defense being, oh, that can carry him to a championship. No, that's the Texans defense. The Texans defense is what everybody thinks the Broncos defense is. So it's not going to take a ton from the Texans and from Stroud, but he can't turn it over. He can't keep losing the ball every time he gets sacked. He can't throw stupid interceptions inside the 10-yard line. Can he play a more in-character game? Because typically he's not a big turnover guy. Can he play a more in-character game? Because if he does, I think the Texans have a good chance of pulling the upset there. And the last game is Rams-Bears. And the question I have in this game is, can the Bears keep it close enough to do their thing in the fourth quarter? They're a cockroach. You can't kill them. They were down 21-3 at halftime to Green Bay. They scored 25 in the fourth to come back and win that game. They are dangerous in the fourth quarter. Can they make this a 4-quarter game? And my thought is that they probably can't unless they force a bunch of turnovers, which that's how their defense thrives. That's how their defense gets stops. It's a leaky defense, but it has been a defense that has created turnovers. So if Matt Stafford and company take care of the football, I think it's going to be hard for the Bears to get enough stops to be able to come up with a rally to win a game late. I think they will find it difficult to get those stops, but create a turnover or two, get out to an early lead. I don't think you want to get behind that Bears team if you're the Rams, especially you want to talk about a hot crowd. Soldier Field's going to be nuts. And it's, again, warm weather dome team going to a cold weather stadium, always hairy for the warm weather team. But I just think the Rams are better at like every position. And I think that matters more than the weather. I'll give you my picks later on. We'll have the staff picks. I want to hear from you in the YouTube live chat or on the text line 785-272-9429. What game are you most looking forward to this weekend? I'd love to hear that. Then we'll talk to Matt Derrick from ChiefsDigest.com. Our Chiefs Insider joins us in about 10 minutes or so. We are just getting started on this Whiskey Friday edition of 580 Sports Talk. 3:31 on 580 Sports Talk. Just getting started on this Friday. Again, I am Dan Lucero. Brendan Brzezinski and Spencer Dupuis will be along in the 4 o'clock hour. Got some thoughts from the YouTube live chat, and important that I address this one first. Andrew, longtime listener, frequent chatter, appreciate you, Andrew, as always, asks, Dan, if there's a Denver-Seattle Super Bowl, who are you rooting for? I don't know when you started listening to the program, Andrew, and it's neither here nor there, but I want to make one thing very, very clear. You guys know I'm from the Denver metro area. You guys know I love my Denver Nuggets. Been a fan of them since I knew what sports were. Been a Colorado Rockies fan since their first game in 1993, and a Colorado Avalanche fan since their first game in 1995. I ain't never once in my whole entire God-blessed life rooted for the Denver Broncos. I will never do it. In fact, my favorite team in the playoffs outside of the Seahawks is whoever's playing the Broncos. I want them to lose in humiliating fashion. You think I want to hear from my buddies about Bo Nix for 3-4 more weeks? You think I want that in my life? I don't ever want to hear about Bo Nix again. He stinks. People are lying on Bo Nix, and I'm tired of it. I promise you, I have never rooted for no damn Denver Broncos. You can't see me in that orange. That's the all-time hang-up for me. You will never see me in that nasty orange. That's not even the kind of good orange. That's not like the orange that like you can sit with. That's like that's like okay. No, I hate that orange. It's stupid Broncos orange. Now they want to bring it back. Anyhow, I hope that answered your question, Andrew. Thank you for the question. Anyhow, I did ask as well, which game are you most looking forward to this weekend? And in the live chat, Mark says Bills and Broncos, most anticipated game of the weekend. Vance says Seahawks game, and think the Buffalo game is a close second. From the text line, 785-272-9429, from the 785, Bills Broncos will be a successful hate watch either way. I respect that. Assuming from a Chiefs fan. I respect that immensely. Like, hey, whoever loses this game, we win because we get to see them lose. I respect that. I respect that level of petty. I kind of agree that I think Bills Broncos is the most fascinating game of the weekend because Josh Allen is the most narratively interesting player in the playoffs. He is. Like, every playoffs have main characters, right? And Patrick Mahomes has been the main character for a long time in the playoffs. And just like Tom Brady was a main character. This year's postseason, the main character is Josh Allen. He is, however, depending on how you look at the Bills, he's either the protagonist or the antagonist of this story. It is Josh Allen's hero's journey that is more interesting than any other player in these entire playoffs. So, in a narrative sense, that is by far the most compelling game. And every Bills game, it doesn't matter who, the opponent is immaterial. It's Josh Allen versus history. It's Josh Allen versus legacy in that game. Broncos are just in the way. And the Broncos might win. They were favorites when I looked this morning. It has swung wildly. All that line has been on both sides of the fence like a waffling centrist politician. It's just been on both sides of the fence all week long. You can get it one place the Broncos are favorites. You can get it one place the Bills are favorites. So that also makes it a really interesting watch as well. But now these are Josh Allen's playoffs. And if he succeeds, he's the whole story. And if he fails, it's a big part of the ancillary story. Andrew disagrees, says it's Stafford to him is the most interesting player. And does he hang up the cleats like his longtime high school friend and Clayton Kershaw if he wins Super Bowl? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford went to the same high school? Did you guys know that? Nobody ever talks about this. They never bring it up. They never say anything about this. It's kind of like Jerome Bettis being from Detroit. Nobody ever brings it up. It's amazing. You would think people would talk about this all the time. It's so incredible. But nobody ever talks about Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford going to the same high school. It's so crazy. I don't find Matthew Stafford terribly compelling historically. I don't. He's a very talented player. I think it's Nonsense. Matt Leinart, I think, was on social media saying, if the Rams win, is Stafford a top 5 quarterback all time? Brother, he's not a top 5 quarterback of this quarter century. Let's be real. I do not find him to be a terribly compelling, main character. Great player. I just don't think he's that interesting. I think Josh Allen's a lot more interesting. But the freedom to disagree is what makes this country and this talk show great. Speaking of this talk show, we're overdue for a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest. He's our Chiefs insider. He'll join us next on 580 Sports Talk. We go to Kansas City. Our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com, joins us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline, as he does every single Friday at this time on the program. Matt, we'll start by asking you the question I threw out to the listeners. Which of the 4 divisional playoff games, as a fan of football, most interests you this weekend?
Ooh, that is a good one. Man, I think, gosh, I'm struggling.
They're all varying degrees of interesting. This is a great weekend. Some say conference championship weekend's the best weekend of football. I think it's divisional playoffs.
Yeah, and I still am kind of partial to just the wild card weekend, just because there's more games.
Yeah, more games. Simple math.
But the divisional round. But man, I'm so torn on this one because I want to say one of the AFC games, but then again, I want Buffalo to win. I don't want Denver to win at all. And I mean, Houston, New England bores me. I mean, I just can't. San Francisco, Seattle is the one I'm probably going to sit down and enjoy the most, or I want to enjoy the most, which means it'll probably be the most boring game of the week.
I want to enjoy that one too. Either I extremely will or I extremely will not. We'll know at the final buzzer.
When I was a kid, I remember reading a book, and this kid, center of the book, was telling his dad, hey, he wanted to just not watch one of the noon games because there was a better game at 3:00. He wanted to watch that one instead. And his grandfather was like, nope, you got to watch this one. We're going to go check it out. And it ended up being like 51-48. It was the most exciting game of the day. And then they start watching the game that the kid wanted to watch at 3, and it was like 3-0 at halftime. And he was like, okay, let's go play.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know. That's the beauty of it. Real quick, who are the 4 teams you think are going to win this weekend? Just run through your 4 picks.
I'm going with Buffalo, the Niners, New England, and the Rams.
Very interesting. We'll make our picks. I'm a little upset that you picked the 49ers, but we'll let bygones be bygones.
I have my flaws. There's no doubt about it.
We all do. Matt Derrick is our Chiefs insider from ChiefsDigest.com, joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. Let's get into some Chiefs discussion. More changes have been announced to the Chiefs coaching staff. We know now that running backs coach Todd Pinkston will not be back next season. So changes in the running back room and the wide receiver room. Is that a reflection of maybe some disappointment? And that might be too harsh a word, but for some fans, I know it wouldn't be. Disappointment in the development of some of the individual players in those position rooms over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure there's any way you could really take it. I mean, both the development and production, just because I'm not even sure that with some of the veterans that the Chiefs really got what they wanted to, particularly the receiver room. I mean, the running back room, you look at Kareem Hunt and you're like, okay, I'm not sure much more you get out of Kareem Hunt at this point in his career. The fact that he is like more reliable than the tush push and short yardage situations to me is like, that's enough right there. But you just haven't seen anything else out of that running back group, and and they need something, and they're going to have to invest in that position more. So if you're going to go out and if you're going to pay for somebody in free agency, or you're going to spend a high draft pick, or both on a running back, you need to be completely comfortable with that coach. And and Todd Pinkston, I think he's a good football coach. Is he best suited to be a running backs coach, given that he doesn't have a lot of experience in that role? Probably not. So I always thought he was just a little bit miscast. That was, I think, that the Chiefs just trying to get a good coach on their staff and give them a role and hoping they would grow into it. Maybe it didn't quite happen the way they wanted, but they're going to invest in that position. I think they want somebody that's got a little bit more experience there. And and the disappointing thing with the receiver room, and I think that's the other challenge. Another even younger coach in this situation, and also a little green. But you got Connor Embry trying to get the most out of, I think, some tough personalities, and Rashee Rice. And I think, working with veterans like Hollywood Brown can sometimes be difficult. And trying to wrangle all of those types, I think you probably need somebody who is less of a technician and more alpha, for lack of a better words or phrases. And that's what I would kind of expect. I think that, if they're going to bring somebody into that receiver room, I think they want somebody that's got some experience, who's been around for a while, but most importantly, somebody who can go into that room and let them know who is in charge, and that, that they don't know everything.
People enjoy, in professional wrestling, they call it fantasy booking, right? Where you put together a dream match of your favorite wrestlers. And fantasy, obviously there's fantasy football, fantasy baseball. There's lots of fantasy GMing that happens. A lot of people are building a fantasy coaching staff for the Kansas City Chiefs, particularly at offensive coordinator. I want to ask you from this perspective, of the former head coaches who are theoretically candidates to be an offensive coordinator, which of these would you be most interested to see them mesh and their philosophies mesh with Andy Reid's offensive philosophies? Would it be Mike McDaniel? Would it be Kevin Stefanski? Would it be Brian Daboll? Would it be, Cliff Kingsbury? I know he's not a fired head coach, but of those 4, which of those 4 coaches do you think would make the most fascinating pair with Andy Reid? As we know, Andy Reid's still the head honcho in Kansas City. Which one of those four would be the most fascinating offensive coordinator?
I mean, I do think that the absolute best of that group to fit in and just, to meld their styles and everything, I think it would be, Mike McDaniel. Brian Dable, I think, is the underrated, idea, too. I mean, because it certainly seems like there's a lot of respect back there between Andy Reid and Brian Dable. Andy Reid went out on a limb more than a couple of times defending Brian Dable and trying to the champion for him. And so I do think that that would be an interesting pairing because there's at least enough differences that I think that they could come up with some things together. But Mike McDaniel, you look at some of the things that he did in Miami offensively, and you're just like, hey, those are some things that would work in Kansas City too. Kingsbury, I think the only real appeal to me is just that his pass with Patrick Mahomes. Otherwise, I think the Venn diagram of those two, of Cliff and Andy, even though they're different systems, are just too much the same. It's, too much shotgun, too much running out of shotgun. I'm not sure if you put those two guys together, you would ever put Patrick Mahomes back under center again.
Right.
And everything is just going to be read options and RPOs. So I don't know if I want those two putting their heads together.
Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com is our guest. He is our Chiefs insider here on 580 Sports Talk. What do you sense is priority number one for Brett Veach and the Chiefs front office this offseason? Because the last couple of years, that's been a really easy answer. Like last year, Trey Smith was priority number one. A couple years back, it was Chris Jones is priority number one. And sometimes those itches didn't get scratched in Chris Jones's case, not until after week one of the season. But there's always been that real obvious priority when it comes to player who is an impending free agent that we want to keep in-house. We want to make sure that they get a new contract from us. What do you sense is this offseason's priority number one? Or do you think that there are enough issues with how this season ended that they maybe don't necessarily have a clear top priority amongst their current roster?
Yeah, and I think there is an answer to that. It's just, I think, a different strategy than in past years. I think the number one player you have to figure out your future with is Trent McDuffie. And that's not necessarily even with the idea that you're 100% going to get an extension done with him, but it may be, are you going to trade Trent McDuffie and move on? Because this is really the last time that you're going to have an opportunity to get any real value for Trent McDuffie. I mean, if you hold on to him one more year and you have to do what you did with L'Jarius Sneed, put the franchise tag on him and then trade him, you're probably not getting as much value as you would hope. Because again, another team isn't going to get any value as far as, saving any money. They're going to have to give him a contract immediately. There's no cheap year. So, you remember you got a third for L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, you're probably going to get about the same for Trent McDuffie because that's kind of the going rate if you put yourself into that position. Right now, with that fifth-year option, there's at least a little bit more value for Trent McDuffie if you want to trade him. I think they could get at least a second, maybe a second plus. If they moved on. And those are two valuable draft picks that the Chiefs could really use. They've got a lot of holes to fill. The question is, do they feel like that they've got the talent in the building right now to play without Trent McDuffie? And if they get, get Dave Merritt another affordable piece or a young draft pick, and he develop them into what they need? Because you're right, they've got other needs. They need a running back. They need a pass rush. And that means multiple people on the defensive line. So they've got, and if Travis Kelce doesn't come back, even if he does come back, they probably need a tight end. And that's not to mention the fact that even though Patrick Mahomes says he's going to be back for week one, they might need a quarterback for at least part of the season. So there's a lot of things there. And that's why, to me, it's deciding what you're going to do with Trent McDuffie. I mean, if you are not going to sign him, I think you have to trade him. And if you do get him done, I mean, it's got to be a deal that makes sense.
Couple more questions for our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com here on 580 Sports Talk. Xavier Worthy posted on his social media earlier this week that he was recovering from surgery. And I wonder how much you think that injury compromised his 2025 season. The output, the yardage and receptions was disappointing, no doubt, for year two from Xavier Worthy. How much of that you think is attributable to him having been banged up?
I think it's significant. I mean, I think it probably affected him maybe as much as it might even be more than 30%, but I think that was at least how much it affected him immediately after the injury. It could, like I said, it could have been more. I think over the course of the year, and then you throw in the ankle sprain as well. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt to me. He was at least maybe 20% down from what he could have been. And like I said, maybe more. We may be underestimating that. I thought it was pretty clear that that shoulder, you could see it throughout the season. I mean, he was doing things to make sure that he didn't get hit on that side, trying to avoid collisions that would impact him, trying to avoid situations where he's going to get taken to the ground and land on that shoulder. I mean, he was certainly coached and encouraged just to make sure that he could stay on the field rather than take some hits on that shoulder. So I think it absolutely affected him. And like I said, I mean, at one point he was playing with it and an ankle injury. I think it probably says a lot more about his toughness that he gutted through all that and played most of the season despite those injuries.
And the last one for you, Matt, you mentioned it just a little bit ago. Patrick Mahomes spoke with the media earlier this week. First time we'd heard from QB1 since his torn ACL. You more confident after hearing him that he's going to be out there for week one?
Slightly more confident. I still think it's a tough journey. I mean, you think about it. I mean, being out there for week one, I mean, it would be about an 8-month return almost, maybe a little bit more than 8 months. And that's technically doable. Now, if you're just talking about a torn ACL, I think that's a lot easier. And we've seen some guys come back even like 6 months after that injury. You throw in the LCL, it gets a little bit more complicated. I don't think it's likely, but I am not betting against this dude and his rehab abilities because he's surprised us before. And if he says he's going to be there week one, I think there's a chance.
Matt Derrick is our Chiefs insider here on 580 Sports Talk. He joins us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline every Friday at this time. You can check out his outstanding coverage of the Chiefs at ChiefsDigest.com. Matt, it is always a pleasure. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the snow, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Sounds like a plan, Dan. Take care, my friend.
That is Matt Derrick. We will step aside for a timeout, come back with On Second Thought to wrap up this first hour on this Friday, 580 Sports Talk. On second thought, you guys know I've not done a 180 on Sam Darnold, my fears about what Sam Darnold could potentially do to detonate the Super Bowl hopes of his own team, which also happens to be my favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks. But I have resolved two things. Number one, I think Seattle can certainly win on Saturday without asking Sam Darnold to put the ball at risk, because the 49er defense stinks, and I don't think the 49ers can score on the Seahawks. I don't know if it'll only be 3 points like it was 2 weeks ago, but it's not going to be a lot of points. They're not going to score a lot of points, I don't think, on that Seattle defense. It's a bad matchup. San Francisco hasn't been able to run the ball in weeks. They didn't run it against Seattle 2 weeks ago. They didn't run it against Philadelphia last week. No reason to believe they're going to be able to run it this week. But the other part of it is I may as well just enjoy it. Because, not every team is the Chiefs, where you get 7 straight conference championships and 3 Super Bowl rings in a stretch. My team's only ever got one of those, one ring. So I may as well enjoy the ride. Let it go where it takes me. Take off the hater apparel, as Tyler in the YouTube comments refers to me as being Hater Dan. I'm done being Hater Dan on my favorite team. I'm done doing that. I'm going to enjoy the playoffs. I'm going to enjoy it as much as I can. Hopefully for as long as I can. Hopefully on through to a Lombardi Trophy. Even if I have my doubts that they can get that far again because of my inherent distrust of Sam Darnold. Coming up in the next hour, 580 Sports Talk, we're going to pick those divisional playoff games, and we're going to pick our songs for 580 Sports Talk Idol. We're going to draw them out of this bucket and pick our songs for Tuesday's 580 Sports Talk Idol. That's coming up on 580 WIBW. Let's get it. Hour number 2 on this Friday edition of 580 Sports Talk. The gang's all here. Dan Lucero, Brendan Dorzinski, Spencer Dupuis hanging out with you on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com. Live on YouTube on our 580 Sports Talk channel, and also live on Facebook at WIBW News. Thanks for tuning in, spending part of your Whiskey Friday with us. We are glad to have you along. We are with you until roughly 5:45. I will be with you for less time than that because I've got to get to Rossville for some basketball tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We got the 580 Preps Game of the Week doubleheader, Big East League action. I almost call it the Big Seven more than I almost call it the Mid-East League.
No, I think that's actually totally fine. Mid-East League did not roll off the tongue quite as much, which is unfortunate because that league was a banger every night.
Great league, and the Big Seven a great league, and now the Big East is a monster. It's a Leviathan.
It's outrageous.
It's a really, really good league, and we've got good games from the Big East League tonight out at Rossville as the Bulldogs welcome in the Perry Lecompton Cause. I'll have the action. Again, we're anticipating 5:45 pregame coverage on 580 WIBW. Of course, we'll have the high school basketball scoreboard show with Eric Peterson from the Kansas Information Network on the flagship tonight at 10 o'clock. Here on 580 WIBW.
Can I go back to something you said? You said it's Whiskey Friday. Where's the whiskey?
In the CBS Evening News Studio.
Yes.
Speaking of cause, so did you see the story out of the state of Missouri? I believe it was last week. That there is a lawmaker, I believe from the city of St. Louis or nearby area, who is attempting to here, I have it from MissouriSenate.gov. He is attempting to repeal the designation of the Kansas City Chiefs as the official NFL football team of the state of Missouri. I believe they got that when the Rams left. And would officially designate the St. Louis Battlehawks as the official professional football team of the state of Missouri.
Like, where are you going?
I saw that.
If I may add,
they are trying to make CAW the law.
CAW is actually the law.
I thought that was fake.
I'm glad they got nothing else going on real important in the state of Missouri right now.
Nope.
That, they can spend some time on that. I can't help but think when I think about Perry Lecompton, former host of the Kansas High School scoreboard show, Nick Gosnell, our friend. We worked with Nick for several years. And Nick used to host the statewide scoreboard show. And I remember frequently listening to the scoreboard show on the ride home from a game or driving home from a football game or wherever it was and hearing Nick report the Perry Lecompton score and saying, pause for the cause.
That's tremendous. I often say the name of the school to the tune of California Love. And they go, City of Compton.
Oh, you do that?
Perry Lecompton.
Now, yeah. I do it to the tune of Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Perry Lecompton.
I've got a hot take about that song. It creeps me out. I don't like it. I'm not a huge Beatles guy in general. That song creeps me out. There's like a weird dark vibe to it. If you can do something musically with the name of one of our featured teams tonight, please let us know.
Look at all of the lonely people. Where do they all come from? Anyway, that is not a
Western
preview.
Douglas County, apparently.
What a great segue to 580 Sports Talk Idol. We're going to get to that here in just a second. The bucket is in place. We have the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
We have the bucket.
I just wish we had a third party to pick out, or we each picked out.
We are
what are we
each
doing
picking out our own songs.
So someone's got to bring me the bucket.
You will come in here and get the bucket.
You
How
act like
about
we don't
that?
have a plan.
Yeah, you think this through. We have a bucket. It's full of songs that you all submitted, and we're going to pick the songs. We're going to do that here momentarily. We do want to hear from you throughout this hour of 580 Sports Talk on the text line, 785-272-9429. You can also get at us in the live chat on our YouTube stream. We are streaming live on YouTube at our 580 Sports Talk channel, and you can interact with us on the live chat. Looking outside real quick, we had a texter ask if it was snowing here.
It was raining for a little bit earlier. I went out, ventured out around 2:50, and it was spitting rain, but I don't think it snowed.
It snowed for a little bit, but it does not appear that it is doing that right now. It sounded like talked to Matt Derrick off the air before we had him on. They were getting some out in the Kansas City metro, so don't know why we haven't gotten any yet.
It's too warm here.
Hopefully it's coming. Anyhow, we're going to talk some playoff football. We're going to make some picks against the spread for this weekend's divisional playoff games. We're going to talk a little college basketball. We are going to do a little Jeopardy with Quizmaster Alex Dworzinski-Trebek.
Right.
And we're going to crown a weekly champion on What Is Wrong With You. But first and foremost, on Tuesday in the 4 o'clock hour, something never before done, probably with good reason, in the history of 580 Sports Talk. We are going to do 580 Sports Talk Idol. The three of us are going to sing songs as requested by the listening audience. We will each sing a song. There will be a duet. We only got a handful of requests for the duet, but one song kept coming up as a request for the duet. So I will announce before we draw our individual songs.
And this is the two losers, right?
The two losers.
We're all
Listeners,
losers here,
yes,
brother.
yes. The two most losers.
Yeah.
But there will be the crowd, the YouTube audience and the text line will select a winner, using that term extremely loosely. The two then losers will sing a duet, and I'm here to announce today, before we draw our individual songs, that the duet will in fact be "Islands in the Stream" by Dolly Parton and Kenny Loggins or Kenny Rogers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we're gonna make you guys do.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins.
I've never even heard that
I would
song
love to
before.
hear the Kenny. You probably have. Are you familiar with the song "Ghetto Superstar" by Praz?
No.
I don't know why I even asked. Anyway, that's how I became familiar with the Islands in the Stream. Like, it's the same song.
I believe Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen covered it once.
I said Kenny Loggins.
Highway to the Islands in the Stream.
Wow. It's a much different song if it's Kenny Loggins.
Much different. Replace the gambler.
Very different musicians. Anyhow.
Andrew wants to know if there is an X button they can hit in the audience if they don't like the singing.
You can you can type X into your text into the text box
like
to
it's
send it.
like it's the voice.
Yeah, you can X as much as you want. Anyway, all right.
It's gonna be a stream of those.
Let's pick the songs.
All right.
Oh, I almost poured them out. There we are. Here's the bucket. You can see, if you are watching on YouTube right now, that as I reach into the bucket, I am not looking into the bucket. Am I not looking into the bucket, guys?
No, you were looking at me
I'm
momentarily.
looking
Now the screen.
directly at you, and I'm picking my song out of the hat. Drum roll, please. It's My Maria by Brooks.
Yeah, it is.
No way.
Yeah,
No
it is.
way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
You tell me what this says. My Maria. Yeah, like anybody can see it.
This is what the people want. This is like when you have a 68-team NCAA tournament. So many things could go wrong. You put two teams on opposite sides of the bracket. No way we're going to get this matchup. But you want people to go home happy, and that's what we're going to get.
So there you have it. I am going to sing my most hated song.
This is literally almost a decade in the making.
It really is. If for those who go way back with the show, the premise was we do a segment, Random Question Tuesday. But on Random Question Tuesday, we did a question, what is your least favorite song? And I don't remember yours or Jake's.
Oh, I don't remember mine. Interstate Love Song.
Interstate Love Song. That's right.
I hate it so
remember
much.
That. I remember that now. That one's not in the bucket. You dodge a bullet. But, I like Stone Temple Pilots. They're still good.
I like Stone Temple Pilots. I hate that song.
Anyhow, I said My Maria by Brooks and Dunn. And then Britt, who was our producer at the time, every rejoin the rest of the show was My Maria.
And walked out at one point.
did. I threw my headphones. I was so disgusted. I felt bullied. And I walked out. And yeah, so it's been a whole thing ever since. Everybody knows how much I hate that song.
Man.
And here it is. I drew it. You saw it. It was on YouTube. I was looking straight at you, reached into the bucket, and I pulled out. Turn off that mic, please. Thank you. Pulled out My Maria. Anyhow, Spencer, here's the bucket. Pick a song. You're not looking in the bucket.
He's not looking.
He's not looking. All right, Spencer. What do you got?
Yellow Submarine by the Beatles.
That's a good one. We got the Beatles.
That is a good karaoke
We got
song.
the Beatles. There it is. There it is. Yellow Submarine, or I guess I'm covering up I didn't do a very good job of cutting these for the record.
Yeah,
Yellow,
what are we doing here?
Yellow Submarine. It could be Mellow Submarine. Maybe they have a song
Wait,
called that.
hold on. How did it get cut that badly? Isn't your wife a first-grade teacher?
Yeah, you would think I would be better at it, right? But unfortunately,
Abby, I hope you're not watching. Gosh.
Yeah, it's really poor form. I should be better with one of those papers. Like we own one. We own one at the house. I was using the one in the building today, and I made a total mess of it. So Spencer's going to sing the Beatles classic, Yellow Submarine.
At least you get a nice, easy chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People probably singing along. We might even clap along for you during the chorus. On 2 and 4, not 1 and 3.
Right.
You know, we have rhythm,
of course,
in this building. All right, Brendan, it's your turn.
All right.
Pick a song, big guy.
Yeah, buddy. Mix it up. We're in the kitchen. Stir it up. What do we got here? Oh, those big meaty paws on. We get. There's a whole stack of them in here.
Yeah,
they're not quite like fanned out.
No, I could have done a better job. Yeah,
there's a stack in the middle of the bucket.
Well, overcome adversity, will you? And pick a song.
All right. Well. Oh, wait, is it the single one? Because I have 3 on this one slip. There's 2 on one side and 1 on the other.
Oh, you get the one in the. Which one is it?
Okay, well, on one side, Islands in the Stream.
No, that wasn't meant to be printed on the back.
But there's a second one on there.
No,
underneath
it's not that one. It's the one on the other side.
What did you do to this paper?
I made I did bad. I was trying to recycle. I didn't think it would be a problem.
Thankfully, this was not planned, by the way, that this was going to end up this way. I ended up with my number 1 choice. This would have been my number 1 draft pick. Someone said this in the YouTube comments the other day. Man, I feel like a woman.
Shania! Oh,
Shania!
The people are going to love it.
Yes!
Oh,
Canada's favorite country songstress coming to these airwaves next Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I got the raw end here. Like, I know the Beatles, Yellow Submarine's a classic, but man, like,
no,
Dan got the song that he knew all along he was getting, and Brendan, you were like hyping that one up.
I do love Shania Twain. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Shania?
There were some bullets dodged. One of you could have ended up doing, like, we had Walk Like a Man by the Four Seasons in there. Would have had to get the falsetto out.
Toxic by Britney Spears was in there.
We had Lose Yourself by Eminem. We had...
oh, man. I kind of wish Spencer had gotten that
I was hoping you would draw Rush. I was really kind of hoping you would draw a Rush song.
Yes.
But that ended up not happening. But there you have it. On Tuesday, in the 4 o'clock hour, I will perform Brooks and Dunn's My Maria. Spencer will perform the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. And Brendan will perform Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
The third song on here, by the way, under Islands in the Stream was I Got You, Babe.
That was another one.
So those are both duets then.
Yes, I had a duets chart, but we didn't get a ton of those. So I just went back and did by popular demand.
Okay.
Yes. Islands in the Stream was the plurality, the people's choice.
Scissors next time.
Yeah.
Brent has scissors in his desk.
Does
Just
he?
use those next time.
I didn't know. Hot drawer. I thought about being at home and using scissors, and I forgot to do it on my lunch break. So I said, I'll just use a big paper cutter. What could go wrong? Apparently, I could get mocked. Apparently, that's what could go wrong.
That's what you were doing when you walked over there. I had no clue what you were doing.
Technically, I will be singing And I Feel Like a Woman.
I'll technically be singing Ella Submarine. I'm singing Ella Submarine.
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah, very
Submarine.
British. There you go.
Hello. Yeah, there we go. So those are the songs. Losers Sing Islands in the Stream by not Kenny Loggins and Dolly.
Oh, man.
That's really funny. That's like the one time I got Wayne Newton confused with Wayne Knight. Wayne Newton was in Space Jam. Again, very different movie if that had been the casting.
Wayne Newton would have been a hilarious Newman on Seinfeld, though.
They really would have. Anyway, that's what you have to look forward to on the upcoming edition of 580 Sports on Tuesday after we get a little 3-day holiday weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday in the 4 o'clock hour. We will sing for you. Jeffrey's bummed there are no rock songs. Maybe next time, Jeffrey.
I think the Beatles, kind of.
Yeah, that's not one of their rockier songs. That's one of their, we were doing a lot of drugs in this time frame songs.
The music video for Man, I Feel Like a Woman is a parody of Simply Irresistible, which is a rock song.
Robert Palmer.
Palmer, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think. Is it Simply Irresistible? I think it is. Yeah, it definitely is. A lot of mesh.
So that also means I have to dress like Brooks or Dunn, or Brooks. Is it Brooks Dunn?
No. Kicks Brooks.
Kicks Brooks and Brooks Dunn.
I don't know Dunn's
Ronnie
name.
Dunn.
Ronnie Dunn.
Who knows Dunn? Anyway.
Oh, wait, I got a country song. Oh, we're bringing jorts out. We're bringing jorts. I'm bringing jorts and cowboy boots, buddy.
I just have to wear black. That's easy. You could dress like Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band era Beatles, Spencer. I think the people would like that.
You're just getting me in a normal t-shirt.
all right, fine.
If I picked a country song, I'd go all country up in here.
Oh, man.
There were a couple of others in there. You could have reached in there and drawn a couple of other different songs, but you got the Beatles, and I think that's going to be fun. Anyway, there you have it. That's our song draw for 580 Sports Talk.
Tuesday,
top
of the 4 o'clock
4
hour.
o'clock. Be there.
Be here this time Tuesday.
If you're not listening at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, you better be dead or in jail. And if you're in jail, break out.
They've got AM radios in jail.
That's true. They probably do. Anyway,
I don't. Hand up. I don't actually know that. I've never been.
I think you're allowed. I feel like I've watched enough TV shows where characters spend time in prison. I think you were allowed an AM radio.
Okay.
Maybe not. Anyway. Let's talk some football, shall we? Let's pivot. We are nominally a sports talk show, and there are 4 divisional round playoff games coming up this weekend. First, the Bills and the Broncos, then the 49ers and Seahawks on Saturday. Sunday's games, you'll be able to hear those right here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. That'll be the Texans at the Patriots, the Rams at the Bears. Let's go game by game, make our picks. The Bills and the Broncos. This line has been all over the place this week. It's jumped the fence. Currently, the Broncos are a 1-point favorite. I'm picking the Bills. They were my original pick to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC. I didn't really see any reason. Like, the Bills against the Jaguars went on the road against a team that was probably a little better than they were. And the Bills are flawed in all the ways that they remain flawed, but they had Josh Allen. And I think that's the difference in this game, where they have Josh Allen, the other team has Bo Nix. And I just don't think there's enough juice in the Broncos offense to overcome the fact that I think the Bills can do some things against the Denver defense. This pick goes out the window if Josh Allen doesn't make it to the finish line. That's my big concern from the Bills' perspective, is Josh Allen's pretty beat up, and Broncos led the league in sacks. He takes a blindside hit and has to go out. It's probably over for the Bills at that point. But if Josh Allen's there at the end, I trust him to make more plays against the Bronco defense than I do Bo Nix to make any plays. So I got the Bills covering and winning outright.
If you were to ask me what are the 2 best things about the Denver Broncos entire roster, what are the 2 best things? I would tell you the pass rush, and I would tell you the best cornerback in the NFL in Patrick Surtain. I think the Bills offense is built to beat those 2 things in particular. I heard this on, I believe it was the Mina Kimes show this week. No quarterback was more efficient in quick games. So under 2.5 seconds, screens, slants, bubbles, those things. No quarterback had better efficiency numbers this year than Josh Allen in the quick game. That neutralizes the pass rush because they can't get home if you're getting it out immediately. And that neutralizes Patrick Surtain because his ability as a corner is mitigated when you just run a bunch of crossers and just get the ball out really quickly. The Bills also have arguably the best running game in the NFL. It's either the Bills, the Rams, or the Bears, all of whom are still alive. Interesting. The Niners also run the ball very well, too. But the Bills run it really well. Denver is pretty good against the run. But again, Nick Bonito is not running, screaming naked wide open right into Josh Allen's face if you're handing the ball off to James Cook. So I like the Bills in this game. I think it'll be relatively close. I think Denver can score on Buffalo because that defense, getting Ed Oliver back, big deal for that defensive line.
Right, it's a huge deal.
That being said, I will take the Bills. I think their offense is built to counter what the Broncos do well.
Spencer, you the lone wolf here, or are you riding with us?
No, I'm not riding Bo Nix and the friggin' Broncos. No, this is
the gall.
Look. Now that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to ride out on the sunset of an AFC championship berth or a Super Bowl berth, I mean, he's the main character. He's going to do it. This is the year, I think, for the Bills and Josh Allen. If any year is the year, it's the year where you don't have to go to Arrowhead and you don't have to even face Patrick Mahomes. So I've got the Bills winning.
All right.
Straight up.
So we're all on the Bills covering that -1 and winning. The night game on Saturday, 49ers at Seahawks. The line is 7, which makes my teeth itch. Because I think
that's hefty.
Yeah, that's a lot of points to lay with Sam Darnold. in the playoffs, even at home, even with that filthy defense. I think the Seahawks win. 7 is a little rich for me, but I guess my question is, how are the 49ers supposed to score? Because they scored 3 points at home against that Seattle defense 2 weeks ago, and they don't have George Kittle this game.
Purdy had one of his worst games as a pro.
The Seahawks can keep their base nickel defense on the field, and Nick Eamon-Wari can just match up with whatever personnel grouping that the 49ers put out there. There's not like an easy button, or the 49ers can't formation the Seahawks to death. Like Kyle Shanahan's really good at getting guys open and moving guys in motion and being able to out formation you, just get into advantageous blocking or route situations. And the Seahawks don't really let you do that. I am fairly confident the Seahawks win. Again, 7 points makes my teeth itch, but if the 49ers aren't going to score more than 10, and I have a lot of trouble seeing them doing that, to be honest, unless they can unlock a running game that has not worked for weeks, then I think Seattle should probably win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I've got Seattle in this one. I think the 49ers are really going to struggle to score. McCaffrey couldn't do anything the last time these two teams faced. I mean, first-team All-Pro. He's a maybe Hall of Famer, great player. Couldn't do anything against the Seattle team. Seahawks offense is maybe not alarming, but I think there are concerns with how they've played down the stretch. That being said, I don't think they have to score a ton. I think opening script, 2 more scoring drives, that might be enough. I will take the Seahawks -7.
Spencer.
I'll be the lone wolf here. I think there's a good chance the Seahawks win, but I think the 49ers cover.
It is a big number for a playoff game.
It is a big number. A lot of folks in the YouTube comments, our own Matt Derrick, our pal Matt Derrick picked the 49ers. And I understand the Sam Darnold skepticism. Nobody understands that better than me if you've listened to me at any point during this football season. But I also watched that game 2 weeks ago, man. And that
San Francisco's line's not good enough to win this game.
It was the most lopsided 13-3 game you've ever seen in your life. That should have been a 30-3 game.
Agreed.
And Seattle was substantially better. Barring a game where Darnold melts down, I don't see the 49ers winning. And I don't think the Seahawks are going to have to put Sam Darnold in a position to melt down. No. He can make easy button throws. He can throw to the outside, keep the ball out of danger. And if he does that, and Seattle runs the ball as effectively as they did against the 49ers 2 weeks ago, which honestly don't think is going to be a problem because the 49ers are even more banged up defensively than they were that night, I think that bodes well for the Hawks.
I think if the 49ers can get any pass rush, it could be helpful because we know that Darnold's got an oblique issue. He's going to go, but an oblique obviously limits your ability to move.
You'd like to, you would think.
Real fact, I know we have to move on. I agree with you 100%, and that makes me feel like I would take the Seahawks on an alternate line. In a year with a lot of bad pass rushes, the 49ers might have the worst, especially with Bosa out.
Sunday's games. The Patriots are a 3-point favorite against the Texans. I'm riding with the road dog here. I think the Texans are going to win. I'm not real confident in C.J. Stroud right now, but I don't think that performance against Pittsburgh is reflective of the quarterback that he is. I think if he takes care of the ball, the Texans defense is going to stifle the Patriots offense, and I think the Texans win a mud fight.
I don't think Drake May has enough help in this game. I could go on and on about how great I think Drake May is, but I just don't think he has enough help against a defense that, I like Will Campbell, their rookie left tackle in New England. He has not been good since coming back from the injury, and you're talking about a struggling rookie against either Will Anderson or Danielle Hunter on every snap. Yeah, no thanks. I'll take the Texans. I'm rooting for Seahawks-Texans at this point. I want a defensive Super Bowl.
I'm taking the Texans in this one. I think if there is a year for them to get to the AFC Championship, it's this year.
All righty. So, on to the final game. Rams at Bears. Rams are only road favorite of the week. They are -4 at Chicago. My lead here is the Rams. I just think they're better top to bottom, and I do not think that the Bears can get stops on that offense that will allow them to pull their fourth quarter shenanigans.
I don't think the Bears will get a single stop in this game. The Rams might only get one, but I think that's enough, and I think the Rams cover that.
I'm exactly with you guys there.
All right, so we get a lot of agreement.
Watch that game be like 12-9.
So it looks like the consensus is Bills and Seahawks on Saturday and Texans and Rams on Sunday. We'll take a time out here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll come back with What Is Wrong With You? Crown a Weekly Champ next. So what is wrong with you time on 580 Sports Talk? We got two new stories competing today, trying to be the weekly champion. Take down our current front runner. Wait, these aren't my jeans. Woman that threw collard greens at somebody, held a knife on somebody else, had a bunch of cocaine in her pants, but said, hey, these pants are not mine. I do not own these jeans I am wearing.
I was set up
I've been framed.
by Old Navy.
My pants were hacked. Somebody hacked my pants. Two new stories today. Brendan, why don't you go first?
All right, so we are going to Florida for my story. I know you're shocked by that. We're going to meet 51-year-old Felix Uresti, who has been arrested.
More like Felix arrested.
Nicely done. He was arrested Tuesday after he was caught in the act of throwing hardware in the form of hundreds of nails into the road in the town of Valrico, which is near Tampa, suburb of Tampa. Deputies watched as he got out of his white 2022 Toyota Tundra and just placed nails along the road on Miller Road before taking him into custody. Again, they watched this happen. Now, how did they get so lucky as to watch this happen? Because he has done it 27 other times. This was the 28th time that he has dumped nails on Miller Road in this area just outside of Tampa, Florida.
That is nuts.
An investigation began into Uresti on September 11th of last year when the sheriff's office received a call that hundreds of nails were scattered on Miller Road and Lithia Center Lane. Over the next 5 months, 27 additional incidents were reported in the same area. During a search of his vehicle Tuesday, deputies discovered the same roofing nails used in previous locations in a large bucket in the back seat. He has been charged with 6 counts of criminal mischief, totaling $1,000 or more, throwing a deadly missile at, within, or into a vehicle, and violation of Florida litter law.
That's wild. Just some people just want to watch the world burn, right?
This is like the poop guy. You're pooping in yards. This guy just go out to Miller Road, spray some nails, just head back home.
Love hearing that pop and hiss of a deflated tire. It just means something to me.
Hear a car go.
It stirs something within me, and I must make it happen.
30 times.
That's crazy. My story today takes us to Hyannis, Massachusetts, where a would-be car thief's unsuccessful attempt to steal a vehicle inadvertently uncovered over a kilo of cocaine hidden in the trunk, which ultimately led to the arrest of the car's owner on serious drug charges. We go back to Tuesday, January 6th. A Barnstable police officer was dispatched to the Bay Street area in Hyannis following a call from a man who reported discovering a suspicious package containing a white powdery substance along Old Colony Road. The caller suspected the substance was illegal narcotics and requested police assistance. Upon arrival, officers met with the man who changed his story. He said, look, I got to level with you. I was trying to steal the car. I was trying to steal this car. I used a screwdriver to pry open the steering column, aiming to manipulate the ignition cylinder and start the engine. That didn't work. So he shifted his focus to the trunk, hoping to salvage some items of value. He was trying to take stuff from the car.
Yeah.
Lifting what appeared to be a spare tire, he discovered a Target shopping bag concealing a duct tape package. Realizing the contents were likely drugs and fearing he could face severe charges if caught with them, the man panicked. Unsure how to dispose of the find without drawing suspicion, he made the unexpected decision to contact the Barnstable Police Department directly, framing his call as a good faith report to, quote, get rid of them. Guided by the man's directions, detectives located the vehicle. It bore Massachusetts registration, was registered to 62-year-old Edward Gillespie of Nantucket. A sheriff's crime scene unit was called to document and process the vehicle. The package was discovered to, in fact, be a kilo of coke. 2 days later, detectives observing the car via a poll camera spotted Gillespie approaching the vehicle, proceeding directly to the trunk, opening it for an initial inspection before briefly entering the driver's seat. Moments later, he exited and returned to the trunk, lifting the spare tire well to find not drugs. After a brief examination, Gillespie began pacing anxiously beside the car while making a phone call. He soon reopened the trunk for a third time, dismantling the spare tire well. As this unfolded, detectives responded to the area. After a period of sustained observation, Gillespie was confronted and eventually arrested on cocaine trafficking charges. What happened to the would-be car thief? I don't know.
Must have gotten off scot-free.
Hey, you scratched our back, so we'll scratch yours.
Yeah, maybe a fine, maybe a little community service.
Yeah, uncovering a kilo of coke probably erases a little petty theft.
Holy smokes.
There's a lot to
That's
that story.
nuts.
Just imagining the guy going to the. All right, time to get the drugs.
I guess in the end
no.
he was right.
Oh no!
Like he did the right thing.
Yeah, he did. He did the right thing in an extremely wrong way. I love that story. It's hard. It was going to be hard to beat 30 nail throwing
30
incidents.
nails in the road. Yeah.
So who you got today?
I'm going to go with nails here.
Yeah.
There's like just an obsession with dumping them in the road in the exact same place.
Does nails beat You Hacked My Pants?
No.
No.
There you have it.
These are not my pants.
I've been framed by the pants. That is our champion for the week on What Is Wrong With You. I'm out of here. I got to go to Rossville. We've got high school hoops from Rossville tonight. The Bulldogs taking on Perry LeCompton on the 580 Preps Game of the Week doubleheader. Spencer and Brendan have you the rest of the way here on 580 Sports Talk.
.442 on 580 Sports Talk. Brendan Dworzinski and Spencer Dupuis with you the rest of the way on the program today. Dan Lucero is on his way to Rossville High School for our 580 Preps High School Basketball Game of the Week doubleheader. It will be Rossville hosting Perry LeCompton coming up tonight. Pre-game right around 5:45 or so. Game one will tip off right about 6. And, of course, we'll have the action for you right here on 580 WIBW. We are going to take a look at some college basketball games coming up around the area this weekend. KU in action tonight. It'll be K-State in action tomorrow night, late for some reason. A little Washburn action this weekend as well, wrapping up a 4-game road trip. But Spencer, we did this a while back. You and I did. I mean, months ago now.
Summertime.
Yes, it was summertime. Good memory.
When, there's not a lot going on.
And it was met, I thought, with, great aplomb. So we're going to bring it back again. If I could get a little music on my computer here on PC One, thank you.
You got it.
Well, let's make sure there's no ad. There's an ad. All right, hold on. Mute me for a second. But we are going to play a game, a trivia game, that you've probably watched a time or two in your life on TV. It airs on KSNT, I think, in Topeka. Ladies and gentlemen, we can bring the music back up. We're going to play a round of Sports Jeopardy. Thank you, Mr. Trebek. Last night, or yesterday's episode of Jeopardy featured a category called What is That Team Name Creature? It's all about college mascots, okay?
All right.
So it's all college mascots. I am going to give you the clue. Spencer is going to see if he can answer all of these correctly. It was a single Sports is always in the first Jeopardy round. So 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000. You are welcome to play along as well on the text line, 785-272-9429, and also on the YouTube feed. All right, Spencer, are you ready to play a little 580 Sports Talk Jeopardy?
Yeah.
From last night's episode of Jeopardy, the $200 clue. In What is That Team Name Creature? The University of Oregon has the Ducks. To the north, Evergreen State College has the Gooey Ducks, a type of this animal. Need an answer?
Mammal?
A clam.
Oh.
Is a clam. I have them on a sweatshirt. I have a Evergreen State Gooey Duck sweatshirt. A little amphibious thing. All right, so Spencer's in the hole, 200.
Yeah.
That's all right. It happens. You got a chance to bounce back here, martingale style, 400. An archaic name for a puma or a lynx, catamounts are the nickname of the University of this state in the city of Burlington.
I feel like this is pretty easy. Vermont.
Your phrasing, please.
What is Vermont?
Correct, Amundo. Spencer, you are on the board. You're back on the plus side. It is the University of Vermont. Western Carolina, also the catamount.
Yeah, you almost threw me there, but then it said Burlington, and then I said, I know where that is.
I do want to make sure to shout out Vance, by the way, in the YouTube feed. He did have clams for Gooey Ducks.
Right.
I've never eaten one. I've heard it's an acquired taste. I've never eaten one. Just have my sick sweatshirt. All right, Sports Jeopardy. In the category, what is that team name creature for 600? There is a fruit in the name of this slimy fellow that represents UC Santa Cruz.
A slug? What is a slug?
You did not complete the full name. What is the banana slug?
Oh.
They are the UC Santa Cruz banana slugs. Made famous, of course, by John Travolta in the 1994 film Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
All right, Spencer, back in the hole, minus 400. We've got two more clues to come. For $800 in our same category, Coastal Carolina has the Chanticleer, a fierce rooster made famous in The Nun's Priest's Tale by this British author in the 14th century. I'm not kidding. I knew this one because it came up on a podcast I was listening to like a month ago.
I feel like it's kind of connected to their name, right?
Well, they are the Chanticleers, yeah. So it's essentially the work that the word Chanticleer comes from.
Chaucer?
Phrasing.
What is Chaucer?
Spencer Dupuis is correct. Jeffrey Chaucer is the correct answer. Yes.
I knew because I remember doing some Sunbelt thing where it says like what's behind these Sunbelt teams.
There you go.
And
you're prepared for it.
I remember it had something to do with like it was in the name.
For those of you who are big fans of the Canterbury Tales, obviously. Spencer, back on the plus side, plus 400. We've got one category left, or one clue left for 1,000 in the category, what is that team name creature? Southern Illinois teams are named for these elegant dogs whose lineage traces back to ancient Egypt.
Well, Southern Illinois starts with an S. What is the Salukis?
Spencer Dupuis finishes in the plus. Yes, the Salukis.
Let's go.
That region of Southern Illinois is known as Little Egypt.
I did not know that part.
Town of Cairo. Cairo is
Cairo.
The real place.
That makes sense.
In Egypt. They call the whole area Little Egypt because of the fertile farming grounds, just like along the Nile in Egypt. Spencer Dupuis, plus 1,400 in this round of Sports Jeopardy. A round of applause.
Let's go.
For Spencer Dupuis with that one. Yeah, saw that today. Had to make sure to get there. Mark B also got Salukis in that one. Jeffrey tried Greyhound. It was close. And man, Mark B and Vance as well got Chaucer in that. The YouTube comments were killing it in that round of Sports Jeopardy. All right, we did have some college basketball we wanted to get to real quick. I will let you know we've got Washburn Hoops in action tomorrow. 1:15 pregame start time, 1:30 game one tip. The men will tip somewhere in the neighborhood of 3:30. Down in the Air Capital, final game of a 4-game road trip for the Washburn men and women, taking on the Newman Jets. The Newman men having a tough year, 5-10, or maybe now 5-11 on the season after earlier this week losing to UCM. The Newman women are improving. They had 7 wins all of last year. They already have 7 this year. They're still 2 games under 500. Washburn trying to keep the momentum going. The men, obviously, number 1 in the country, 17-0 after beating Emporia State in a wild game last night. That was a fun one in the Turnpike Tussle. The Washburn women got off the schneid after 2 straight losses and knocked off Emporia as well. So 2 sweeps this season for Washburn in the Turnpike Tussle. I'll have the call of that action coming up tomorrow over on our sister station, Country 1069. As for KU and K-State, KU is in action tonight taking on Baylor. This is the first time that these two teams have faced off with neither team ranked since December of 1966. So given the history of Baylor basketball, that generally means it's about KU until recent years. Baylor is not especially good relative to how good they have been over the last decade or more. According to KenPom, KU is 6 points better if these teams played on a neutral floor. For those of you who are into the advanced metrics, the spread itself, I've actually not checked what the spread is for this game until right now. KU favored by 7.5. Actually, KenPom would.
Wow.
Well, you throw in the home court advantage. So, yeah, you're probably right about on that number, 7.5, 8 points. Can KU get it done tonight? Darren Peterson been playing more. They're at home again. I don't know that I trust this KU roster to win any game with a spread of more than about 2.5 at this point. But that being said, I do like KU to win this game outright.
Yeah, I think KU can win this game. I think it'll be huge. It's a Friday night crowd. I think the students are coming back this week because I know I believe so. Monday or Tuesday, I think classes resume. So I would venture to guess there'll be a lot more students than there were the last 2 home games. From what I understand, what I saw, I don't know how true this is a rumor. Apparently there is a former Derby High School running back going to be in attendance tonight.
Yes, the rumors that Dylan Edwards might be flipping from one Kansas school to the other. I don't think it's been made official yet.
No, but he's allegedly going to be going to make an appearance tonight.
That is going to be a scene. Holy smokes. Baylor's just 1-3 in the Big 12. They're 11-5 overall heading into this game tonight. Fox TV is going to have the broadcast of this one. I do like KU to win. K-State plays tomorrow night, 9:00 p.m. Central Time tip-off from America's favorite wrestling gymnasium, Gallagher-Iba Arena. I hate that building. I hate it so much. It sucks. It's just the worst.
I got one thing to say.
Okay.
Shout out to the Big 12 for not overlapping any games tomorrow.
That's nice.
But why?
I don't know.
Why are we having these 2 teams play at 9 p.m.?
This is why we have
you have
BYU.
the number 1 and the number 2 teams in the country, man.
This is why we have BYU and Colorado and Utah and the Arizona schools for the late night games. I don't understand it. Look, Oklahoma State is much better. Steve Lutz can really, really coach. K-State is obviously struggling right now. If you're not going to figure it out for K-State in this game, then I just don't think you're going to figure it out. And things could change, sure. If not now, when for this K-State team? That's my official opinion on that game.
Oklahoma State 4.5 point favorites right now.
I think you have to take the favorite there. I really do. We've got to get to another break. We'll wrap up this 4:00 hour after this on 580 Sports Talk. All right, Spence, we've got about a minute and a half here to try to change each other's mind, hence the segment, Change My Mind. Do you have one for us today?
I do not.
All right, then change my mind on this one. Gus Johnson on the call tonight for KU versus Baylor has always been better at basketball than football.
Oh, I don't know, man.
As a play-by-play guy.
Some of my favorite calls are him doing football and Chris Johnson.
He's got getting away from the cop speed. I remember one time some high schooler did that on a school stream for a game and got kicked off the air. Come on,
yeah.
Guys. Just
I
imitating.
don't know, man. I'm looking forward to watching it now, though. I did not realize he was doing play-by-play.
I believe he is. I mean, he's the Friday Night Fox guy.
That makes sense. I just didn't know.
Yeah. If it's Brando, I'm going to lose my mind. I'll tell you that
Oh,
much.
no.
The absolute worst. All right, change my mind. Brando, worst in the game. Sorry, that's not very nice. Tim, if you're
He's the
listening,
worst.
sorry.
He's the worst, man.
Yeah, just awful.
I think it's passed him by.
Yeah,
He
30 years ago.
He was okay, and now he's just really bad.
My right there is my least favorite. We've got to get to a break for the news and a couple of spots. We can pay the bills. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll get you ready for the game of the week from Rossville. We've got 580 Sports Talk headlines, talk some college football playoff national championship, maybe a little AMA as well. Coming up, 5 o'clock hour, 580 Sports Talk. Talk coming your way here on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW. Thank you for listening along on 580 or on FM 104.9 in the capital city, possibly online at 580WIBW.com or checking us out on the live video YouTube feed. Again, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Go subscribe if you haven't, because coming up on Tuesday next week, top of the 4 o'clock hour, right around 4:06. That's when we get back from our news break and the folks at CBS. Right at the top of the 4 o'clock hour on Tuesday, we return from a day off for the holiday, and we will have the first ever and maybe only ever edition of 580 Sports Talk Idol. We told you we were going to do karaoke once we got to 900.
The only time. It's the only time it's happening.
Once we got to 900 subscribers on the YouTube, we were going to karaoke, and damn it, we're going to do it. Spencer will be doing Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. I will be doing Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain. Dan will be doing My Maria by Brooks and Dunn. The losers, somebody is going to win, technically. The two who do not win will be doing a duet. They will be singing Islands in the Stream by Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, not Kenny Loggins, which Dan thought earlier. That's coming up on Tuesday. We're off on Monday. No show Monday because of the holiday. Hope you get a 3-day weekend, get some time to hang out, relax. If you go to work, maybe some of your annoying coworkers are taking the day off. That would be great for you. We will be off on Monday. We'll be back in full on Tuesday, 3 until 6. And we are going to have 580 Sports Talk Idol at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. I'm excited about it. I got a song I wanted, though. If I had to sing like a Cher song, I would not have been very happy. I will be honest about that. But at least for me, it worked out. For you and Dan, can't speak for you guys, but I'm fired up about it at the very least. It'll be streaming on YouTube. We'll, of course, have it live on 580 AM as well. In this final hour of the show, though, we'll get to our 580 Sports Talk headlines. A lot of baseball news to get to. I also wanted to take a moment to talk about one of the big stories from yesterday. Spencer, I know you and Dan got to talk about the college basketball point shaving scandal. I want to take a moment to speak about it as well, because I didn't get my takes off for that. And I've got one big overarching take, I think. A lot of baseball to get to today as well. Talk a little college football national championship. Since we're off on Monday, that's the day of the national title game. Miami versus Indiana. We'll break that one down, make our picks, what's going to be the deciding factor in that game. That is all coming up in this hour. Plus, we'll get you a final word, and we will send you out to Rossville, where Dan Lucero is getting set up for 580 Preps Game of the Week doubleheader basketball action as Rossville takes on Perry-LeCompton in Big East League action. All right, let's get into it, though. Let's start this hour, and let's get to our 580 Sports Talk headlines. Why don't we start with baseball? Why don't we start with the big news from Major League Baseball over the course of the last 2 days? I'm going to go in reverse chronological order. Today, JT Realmuto, one of the best catchers in baseball for the last decade or so, got a 3-year, $45 million deal from the Phillies. He's going to stay in Philadelphia, where he's been for several years. Probably not the peak version of himself anymore, but he's still a good catcher. It is hard to find productive catchers. It's probably why the Royals have been so dug in with Salvi getting as many at-bats as he does at this point in his career.
Yeah, I'm excited for Salvi in this fence.
That's true. But JT Realmuto going back to the Phillies, $15 million a year. Bo Bichette leaving the Toronto Blue Jays as a free agent. He is headed to the New York Mets. 3 years, $126 million. That, for you doing math at home, is $42 million per year for Bo Bichette, who's a good player. I mean, he's a very good offensive player at the very least. Still only 27 years old. It feels like he's been around baseball forever. Obviously, his dad played for a long time. Led the American League in hits in both 2021 and 2022. Oh, wow. So he's Whit Merrifield. Big deal. I'm just kidding. 294 career average, 806 career on base, OPS, on base plus slugging, 111 career home runs. Good year for him. Hitting home runs is probably like 15 to 20. He's hit as many as 29. Had just 4 back in 2024. He played 81 games that year. That's a big deal. You got to overspend in free agency. We know that. But the big news from last night, I did not get to react to this live because I was calling the Turnpike Tussle. But Kyle Tucker, after 1 year with the Chicago Cubs, started his career multi-time All-Star with the Houston Astros. Cubs traded for him for the final year of his contract last offseason. And I will say this because I've had a lot of people say, oh, the Cubs, they weren't able to re-sign Kyle Tucker. He was never going to re-sign with the Cubs. And there are a lot of Chicago fans that do not want to admit that. From the moment he got to Chicago, he was never re-signing. He was going to go to the team that was going to pay him the most possible money. Everybody knew it. It was not going to be the Cubs. One, because, well, the Ricketts. And two, because they have other players that they are invested in, other players that need to be extended, et cetera, et cetera. He was never going back to Chicago. The Mets were interested. I believe the Blue Jays were interested. A lot of teams were interested. You'll never believe it, though, Spencer. He is going to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Wow.
4 years.
I would have never guessed it.
Yeah. Shocker. The Dodgers made a big move for an all-star caliber player. Kyle Tucker is going to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the deal is reportedly worth $240 million over 4 years. That is an average annual value of $60 million. However, there are also 2 opt-outs, one after the second year, one after the third year. What is someone going to give? Dan said this to me earlier. What was someone going to give him $65 million a year? $70 million a year? What's next? But he got 2 opt-outs and also a lot of money deferred. I don't know. Okay, so here it is from Jeff Passan of ESPN. Tucker's deal comes in with $30 million deferred, which gives it a present-day average value of $57.1 million, which also sets a new record because the Dodgers are already on track to exceed the luxury tax threshold, prompting a 110% average. Tucker will cost them about $120 million annually. To offset those deferrals, the Dodgers rewarded Tucker with $64 million as a signing bonus, $54 million of which will be paid up front. Kyle Tucker's a good player. He sucked down the stretch last year. He's a good player. He's a multi-time All-Star for a reason. Whatever. And I've seen a few takes recently that, this is just as bad as Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. This is just as bad as LeBron having the decision and saying, I'm taking my talents to South Beach and joining up with Bosh and Wade. I don't think that's true in a non-capped league. And it's sort of a soft cap in Major League Baseball because you do have to worry about the luxury tax and the revenue sharing and all of that. But if you're willing to break it, it does not matter. It's not like the NFL where you've got a hard cap number. You've got, 278 million to spend, and that's what you get. You can roll over from the previous year, and there are some exceptions in certain cases, but that's your number. You got to get under it by the first day of the league year. It's not like the NBA where there are a million exceptions, a true soft cap, but there is a cap. And if you exceed the second apron, quote unquote, is what it's called, 2 years in a row, they hard cap you, and you can't do anything. So there's that function in the NBA. Baseball does not have that. So I do not blame Kyle Tucker for saying, okay, well, no one else was going to pay me more than 55, and I can go get 60 from them. Yeah, I'm going to go do that. Mark B on YouTube, he's 100% right about this. The Dodgers have never cared about the luxury tax. Exactly. And they've clearly got mechanisms to soften the blow, like this signing bonus thing, like the deferred money, all of that. Despite that, obviously, and guys, how many times have we had a conversation about the Dodgers are spending all this money, they're hoarding all the superstars. It was the Yankees for generations in Major League Baseball. It's the way the baseball pay structure is structured. It's the way that there is no cap, so you can spend, and you've got payroll instead of a cap number. All of those things that have been present in Major League Baseball forever. That is the reason the Dodgers were able to do this. Now, the other part of why the Dodgers were able to do this is not enough other teams are spending. Yes, the Royals at that number were never going to be able to afford Kyle Tucker, obviously. But could the Blue Jays, if they had wanted to, spent 4 years, $240 million and deferred money on Kyle Tucker? Yeah, they're owned by Rogers Communications. Of course they could have. Could the Chicago Cubs? Yes. Could Fenway Sports Properties and the Boston Red Sox, who are cut salary every other year for some reason, could they have done this? Oh, yeah, they could have. Yeah. The Yankees could have. So many teams could have, even ones you don't think about in that normal top echelon of teams that spend to contend, could have put up that money. They just choose not to. It's the easiest for the Dodgers, but they're also the only team, generally speaking, that does this a lot. The Blue Jays try. There are other teams that try, but nobody is doing it like the Los Angeles Dodgers are doing it.
I know there are some teams that try, and then they win a championship, and they're just fine. My team, they're just fine with doing nothing.
Yep.
I just saw numbers here that the Nats, since 2020 to 21 offseason, the largest contract they gave out was in 2022, 1 year, $15 million for Nelson Cruz.
Yuck. Ugh. But so my point here with the Dodgers, I understand 100%, if you are in, I hate the Dodgers mode, this is sick and disgusting, they are the reason baseball is ruined, et cetera, et cetera. If you feel that way, I'm not going to argue it. I don't hate that. I mean, I wish my team had a better chance playing in the same league as the Dodgers are. In fact, you, me, and Dan Spencer all have teams in the National League as our favorite teams outside of the Royals. The reason I don't blame the Dodgers, one, is because other teams could be trying to do this, at least to some degree. And secondly, they're playing within the rules. This is allowed by Major League Baseball. I'm not going to get mad at them for playing within the rules. They're doing what they are allowed to do. Blame the people up above. This is always what it comes down to. And, you can look at this in, again, a sport that's not capped, and it really comes down to just what is your owner willing to spend. I will tell you this. I will use my favorite team as an example, a major market team. So it's not even necessarily comparable to our local team in the Royals. Your favorite team. Big, super rich billionaire owners. They don't want to open the purse strings for more than a player, maybe two a year, depending on who they are, when they can afford to do those things. And fans constantly, Jed Hoyer, the president of baseball ops, he sucks. He's doing the wrong thing, getting the wrong players, yada, 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 et cetera. He's not the one, though, who's writing the checks. He's negotiating. He's doing, getting the reports from scouts and all that. But in the end, if the owners don't open the purse strings, you can't do anything. You can't get every single player you want. That's how the sport has worked for forever, which leads us to the salary cap argument. We've hashed it out a million different times. If you want to institute a salary cap, again, I don't blame you if you're feeling that way. I will tell you, I do think there will be a lockout for certain at that point. I already am trending toward feeling like we will have a lockout in Major League Baseball in 2027. I hope not. I'm leaning that way. My request would be kill deferred money. That would be my start to getting rid of what the Dodgers are doing. All the deferred money going to Kyle Tucker. The astronomical amount of money going to Shohei Ohtani that is mostly being deferred past his playing days, or at least his useful playing days. Get rid of deferred money. Dodgers, if you want to spend $700, I think this year the payroll is $552 million.
Yeah.
You want to spend that in payroll? That's fine. If you want to spend that on your roster, I got no problem with it. You better pay it up front. That is what I would want changed. If that goon, Rob Manfred, came to me and said, all right, Brendan, you get to pick here. How are we going to fix this? That would be my starting point. Get rid of the deferred money. You want to spend it? Go for it. But you got to pay them now. That, to me, is a major issue. Because they're just, like, the group that owns the Dodgers might not even have to worry about it at some point if they sold the team, hypothetically. I don't know why you would, but hypothetically. Like, it's funny money. It's monopoly money at that point. That is what I would want to get rid of. Again, if you want to cap, I understand. There will be consequences that come with that, good, bad. You might not care. And that's fine. You're not paid to care. You're a fan. You're not in the front office in Secaucus, New Jersey, dealing with any of these things. But you've got to do, in my opinion, something to curtail this. Although by the same token, I don't really want to bail out a bunch of teams that aren't trying. Pittsburgh Pirates don't deserve jack. I wish they didn't get revenue sharing. I wish the Marlins didn't get revenue sharing. These teams that just, the White Sox, these teams that intentionally suck forever and just try to bleed you dry, those teams I want punished. I was telling Dan earlier, I don't necessarily want a team like the Rockies punished because at least they like want to be good. They're bad at it to an insane degree, but they do like theoretically want to be good. The Pirates don't. The Marlins don't. The White Sox, generally speaking, don't. The A's don't.
Yeah.
Those are the teams that I think should be punished. I think you can fix a lot of these monetary issues without going to the nuclear option. We might not be able to avoid it, but until we do something, and again, that collective bargaining agreement, the clock is ticking, getting closer and closer to 27. We're already into 26 now. If there is no change, I feel like we're not going to have Major League Baseball for at least a portion of 2027. I hate to be fatalist. I'd be crushed. I feel like we're trending in that direction without some kind of change.
I think it's going to be almost all of like the whole season.
I hope not. I love Major League Baseball. College baseball only takes us halfway through the summer to get our baseball fix.
Yeah, I just think it's unfortunate because baseball has lived the way it's lived for so long.
It's unfortunate to me that we are being forced into this position.
Yeah.
Like, if you just did what you're supposed to do as an owner and try to compete and everybody did it, even with the financial discrepancies, I think this would look a lot different. But I swear, man, 24, 25 owners don't feel that way at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the problem is it's a lot of these owners of baseball teams in particular, they aren't necessarily sports owners.
No, I think that they
you know
are
what I'm saying?
I would argue that of the three, I can't speak to hockey. I can't speak to that personally. But of the three biggest sports in the U.S., Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, I believe that the least engaged with their actual sport on average are the baseball owners. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's like they're not sports owners. They're like in the market of business.
Truly just, and for all these owners, it's an investment. But for baseball, it feels different.
I feel like a lot of NHL and NBA, they're owned by the same people.
That's also true.
Like
and football owners we know are very, very involved.
Yeah, and some football owners even own different sports.
Yeah, so
teams. So
that's the hot stove news. And if you're mad at the Dodgers, I get it. I personally feel a little bit more mad at the powers that be. But hey, what's one more thing to be mad at Rob Manfred about? Spence, why don't you give us a headline?
Yeah, this one coming from friend of the show, Liam Keating at the Topeka Capital Journal. Emporia High School football is set to leave the Centennial League. I say high school football because the rest of the sports will stay in the Centennial League. The Centennial League obviously holds Topeka teams, Topeka High and Washburn Rural, so that's going to change some things. They'll be leaving the conference at the conclusion of the 2027 season. They'll become independent starting in 2028. Again, that's just for football. In a statement, the school district said, as roster sizes have decreased, younger players have often been placed in a varsity role sooner than ideal. At the same time, some league opponents have reduced freshman and junior varsity competition, limiting valuable opportunities for athletes to grow on the field. So I guess this has to do with the number of younger players having to play. And obviously, Emporia has lost 20 straight Centennial League games dating back to 2021. So it doesn't help that their on-the-field product is...
Yeah, they've struggled for a while.
It's hard to live up to some of the teams in the Centennial League.
The downside here to me, and I can't speak to Emporia High specifically, but just, it's been hard enough for the teams remaining in the Centennial League over the last few years to find good scheduling arrangements around the state.
Yeah.
Washburn Rural has had to play a team from Missouri these last couple of years. I mean, it's been difficult. It's only going to get more challenging from here, and I just don't know what the outcome of this is. Is it totally breaking up the Centennial League and Manhattan and Junction City go in one direction? Maybe they go to the AVCTL. Maybe Topeka High and Washburn Rural try the Sunflower League again. I'm not sure what the eventual outcome of this is, but I do know that it is a bummer because the Centennial League in very recent memory was one of the best and most competitive leagues in damn near every sport in the state of Kansas. And look, everything but football is going to remain the same. I understand that. Hayden is still around in the conference, obviously, and their situation was different, having to drop because of enrollment numbers. But it is just unfortunate to see something that was so good fall apart. And look, the schools that left, I'm not griping with Highland Park. It has worked out phenomenally for all of those programs moving to the Meadowlark Conference. It's worked out very well for Seaman, Topeka West, Shawnee Heights to move to the UKC, which now is, in my opinion, one of the best and most competitive leagues in pretty much everything, every single sport and activity around the entire state. It's just a bummer to lose something like the Centennial League that not all that long ago was, such a cornerstone and all those great football games. And it's going to look a lot different. I hope the scheduling can get figured out because I know it's already been tough enough for rural and for T-High, and I'm sure for Manhattan Junction and obviously Emporia as well. But I would imagine that's the next thing that is going to be a big challenge for some of these bigger schools here in Northeast Kansas. I wanted to get to this before we finish out the hour. Spencer, I know that you guys talked about this yesterday on the show. And actually, our buddy Liam in the YouTube comments had made note of this as well. I had a couple of questions I wanted to get to. But the gambling scandal in college basketball that broke, well, it didn't break yesterday. We had known about that for quite some time. This was just more so a resolution to a degree with 17 former and current college basketball players ending up getting in trouble with the FBI for 29 games that were fixed at the college basketball level between the 23-24 and then 24-25 seasons. It is one of the biggest gambling conspiracies in American sports history. That's in the words of Matt Norlander and Will Backus from CBS Sports. This impacted 17 Division I teams with players who, quote, fixed and attempted to fix over 29 games during that 2-year stretch. Some of those players even played this season. That includes Conference USA's preseason player of the year. Simeon Cottle has been averaging 20 points a game.
Yeah, some of this is crazy. And one of my points to Dan yesterday was, as somebody that went to a smaller Division I school, a lot of this is just the oversight. There's not, like, compliance-wise, like, they think they can get through because there's one compliance person at most of these schools.
Well, and here's the thing,
so there's nobody, like, checking up. They just think they can get through with doing any of this stuff because, hey, this guy does not have time to deal with any of this stuff. He's dealing with all the people going to the transfer portal.
Well, and here's the things that stand out to me. One, the guys who are doing the gambling here are so stupid, it is genuinely hard to believe.
Yeah.
Like, very rarely does stupidity surprise me at this point in history. Like, people are doing dumb things all the time, okay? I understand that. Watch the news, okay? It's all over the place. If you bet, and this is a real number, I'm sure you guys mentioned this particular wager, $458,000 on North Carolina A&T versus Towson, you are begging the feds to arrest you.
Yeah.
There is no world in which you could put down that amount of money on that game and not send off 800 sirens and all sorts of red flags. Games like that, and gamblers will sometimes tell you that the smaller games, the G5 football or mid-major, low-major college basketball, that's where they like to gamble because it's easier to get an edge. It's not easy, it's just easier. Because so many people are betting on the big games, KU Baylor and whoever else, Duke, North Carolina, whoever, that the books have more of an advantage with the more people who are gambling on them. When there's less money, fewer bets, fewer, just less attention paid to some of these smaller games, a lot of pro gamblers like to bet on games like that. Not $458,000.
Yeah, I mean,
this ain't the World Series of Poker.
That's the problem, right? Like, I think it's so easy to spot because it's so much money.
Well, exactly. Like that story from a couple years ago with the Alabama baseball coach who got in trouble because he put $100,000 on a college baseball game.
Yeah.
What do you? Of course you're going to get caught.
Not even the worst of betting sickos.
No,
are betting SEC regular season baseball games.
This is so crazy. $256,000 for Robert Morris to throw a first half against Northern Kentucky. $424K on Kent State to cover a first half versus Buffalo. I could go on and on from this indictment. And the thing, again, that stands out the most to me is that these guys are morons. But also, and Liam brings this up in the YouTube comments here. Let me see if I can pull up his comment here. Says, I find it interesting that maybe all the teams involved are private and or Catholic schools. Also interesting that all the teams involved are mid-majors. Could this be an example for the bigger schools? So I think no. And the reason why, and Spencer, you talk about, not having a lot of people just in the house to be like, hey, what's going, like, something is weird. We see shady characters around, or so-and-so has been real strange. Like, it's hard to keep up with those things, right? These guys don't have NIL like a player at a major conference school has NIL. So you take a college athlete, a student athlete at the University of New Orleans. He might not have anything in the way of NIL. Like, genuinely might not have anything. So yeah, someone comes to you and says, hey, I need you to commit a couple of turnovers. Maybe put a couple of bricks late first half. First half spread was 6.5. Maybe just make sure you guys are down.
Things down?
Yeah.
Slow the game down?
Yeah, maybe slow play that last possession with a chance to cut it to 5. You'll get a cut of this. If you've got no money and you're playing for the University of New Orleans, you're like, wow, sick, great. Yeah. I can do that. No one will catch me. The funny thing is people have gone on social media. They've dug back into the archives, found copies of these games, like the Buffalo players who have gotten in trouble for that. Oh, it's blatant.
So bad.
Blatant that they were doing something shady, but you don't know at the time. The negative part about this, many negative parts about this, now it poisons the well. And, you know how much I love Thursday night college basketball at the D1 level. You know what conference plays that night? A small major. My favorite small major. My beloved American East Conference. But now, anytime someone has a god-awful end of the first half, you're going to think, whoa, hold on a second. Do we need to investigate here? It poisons the well. That is a very bad thing for the sport. That's the thing that really worries me for the sport, is now you lose trust. That is a big deal. When you question the integrity of the game, you lose everything. It's why Tim Donaghy went down. It's why something like this is going to have major reverberations. That being said, to answer the point that was brought up in the YouTube comments, I don't think a school like, I don't want to say KU because I'm not trying to make an example of Kansas. We just happen to live and work right down the street from one of the most powerful and biggest name basketball programs of all time. Like, I don't think at a school of that caliber, it's as big of a risk because, again, bettors think, oh, no one's paying attention to this game. I can get away with it. But you cannot wager that kind of money. They will catch you every single time. I don't know how you could do this for a living and be that stupid. I genuinely do not know. Yeah. But again, never be surprised by the stupidity of people because it will bite you in the face at the fastest, earliest convenience. We have to get to a commercial break. We're due to pay the bills here. We'll come on back. Look ahead to the national championship game on Monday. We don't have a show on Monday, so we've got to get you our picks for Indiana versus Miami. We'll do a little Ask Me Anything at the end of the hour before we send you to the 580 Preps high school basketball game of the week. It's all coming up in this hour of 580 Sports Talk. In just a few minutes, we're going to send you over to Rossville, where Dan Lucero is on site for tonight's 580 Preps High School Basketball Game of the Week doubleheader. Rossville Bulldogs, Perry Lecompton Cause coming up. First, though, since we're off on Monday, no show due to the holiday. Hope you get to celebrate as well. Take a little time off for yourself, for your family, but probably just for yourself. Wanted to get a pick for the national championship game. Indiana favored by 8 over Miami. This line has moved. It opened, I think, in some places at 7. It was at 7.5 for a while. It's now all the way up to 8 at Prairie Band Sportsbook up in Mayetta.
ESPN's got it at 8.5.
Whoa, hello. I've got Indiana winning this one. I know a lot of people think, ooh, that's a lot of points for Miami. I think Indiana is just a better team. I don't know that this is going to be a complete blowout like they've wrecked everybody so far in the playoff, but I do think Indiana wins. I think they've got the better quarterback. I think they've got the better coach. I think Mario, when you tighten the screws a little bit more than they've been tightened already, is going to wilt, at least more than Signetti will. I am going to take the Indiana Hoosiers to win the national championship of college football, which is maybe the most insane thing I've ever said in my life, but it's true.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that Coach Signetti's teams just blow everybody out of the water when it comes to the expectations that they have. And yesterday on the show, I think I was talking to Dan. Maybe it was off the show, something else. But looking at the teams that he has going back to even when he was in the Sun Belt with James Madison, like they just continually outperform their level. And that's how he got to where he is right now. And I think he's going to win a national championship. And Indiana is going to win a national championship in football. Words I never thought would be uttered.
It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, we're short on time. We're going to go rapid fire with an AMA. Are you ready, Spencer Dupuis?
Yes.
All right, first one from Vance on YouTube. Baked potatoes, French fries, tater tots, or hash browns?
Ooh,
Hash
French
browns.
fries.
Hash browns is close for me, but I'm going baked potatoes. Twice baked potato. Ooh, man,
twice
that's
baked
so good.
potatoes are good.
Melted cheese on there. Ooh, delicious. Also on here, let's see. We've got another couple from Liam. Roulette, slots, or blackjack?
Slots.
Really? I hate slots. Oh, I can't. I'm not a
I
slots
can just
guy.
sit there forever, man.
I don't know which casinos in our greater area have the digital roulette, but I like that because I don't have to interact with people and I can just play it on my own. Played it out in Vegas, loved it. From Mark B, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. I don't like cats at all. From Jeffrey, if you had to pick a last meal, what would it be? Dang, a little dark, my man.
Very dark. Give me a really good bacon cheeseburger.
Prime rib. And you know what? Garlic mashed potatoes along with that as well. Are there any others in here that we missed out on? Nope, I don't think so. So we're going to get to one final break. We'll come back with a quick final word. We'll send you off to the 580 Preps High School Basketball Game of the Week. All right, Spencer, just about 60 seconds to wrap it up with today's final word.
Yeah, just realized, I knew it the other day, but I just looked down at the calendar. It's been 2 years here in Topeka and 2 years here on 580 Sports Talk. Going to celebrate with some nice Glory Days pizza tonight. And I guess get ready for 580 Sports Talk karaoke Tuesday at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. And we're off on Monday, so long weekend.
There we go. Congratulations. Wow.
Thanks.
They've gone by so quickly. Final word for me, KU, go get it done tonight. You're at home. You're struggling enough on the road as it is. This conference is a meat grinder. Your schedule in the second half of Big 12 play is a nightmare. So go get the wins while they're available. Please go beat Baylor tonight with Gus Johnson on the call. That'll do it for us today. We're off Monday, back with 580 Sports Talk Idol coming up 4:06 on Tuesday. Make sure you're there. For Dan, for Spencer, I'm Brendan. This has been 580 Sports Talk. The 580 Preps Game of the Week is coming up next.